Tuesday was Big Ten Individual Award Day in the world of women's basketball. UCLA Senator Lauren Betts was named Big Ten Women's Player of the Year for the first time in her career. Betts averaged more than 16 points and nearly 9 rebounds per game this season, adding 3 assists and 2 blocks per contest. Betts was also named Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year in helping lead UCLA to an undefeated regular season in league play.
You know, I've never experienced a team like this where I can clearly say that every single person on this team has the same focus and same goal for the end of the season. I mean, I think that, year by year you find, there's a mix of emotions and oh, well, I want to play more. I want to do this. Truly, I can say every single person on this team wants the best for everyone. And we just want to win at the end of the day.
The Coach of the Year trophy will also make its way to Westwood as UCLA's Corey Close takes home the honor. Close led UCLA to just a 4th unbeaten regular season in Big Ten women's history. The 28-1 Bruins are the #1 seed at this year's Big Ten tournament after a season during which Close saw her team post 10 wins over ranked opposition.
This is my first head coaching job. When I got to UCLA, people took a risk on me. And maybe even more meaningful for me is that people chose to come along for the ride and adopt our mission when there was nothing to show for it. And so for me, it's just a really humbling thing to say thank you to the people around me and to be able to also say thank you to the other coaches in the Big Ten. I mean, they make me better every single day.
And the Bruins weren't done winning individual honors as Angela Dugalich was named 6th Player of the Year. The Freshman of the Year award also heads to LA, but to the USC campus, thanks to a phenomenal first collegiate season for Jazzy Davidson. Our Big Ten Today crew has more.
Rick, thanks. Let's break down some of these awards, Shimmy and Lauren Betts. I mean, it's amazing to think this has never been done, to win the Big Ten Player of the Year and to win the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. She is certainly worthy of both. She is really fabulous.
Well, UCLA, they went undefeated in conference play. And when you have the Big Ten Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year, then that helps explain why she's absolutely dominant. That's the one word that I'll use to describe her, is dominant. And I realize that her stats aren't at the level that they were last year. I know numbers don't lie. They don't tell the whole story. They don't have to be at the number that they were last year. She has better players around her, so she doesn't have to do as much, take on more of that load. But she's been absolutely dominant on both ends of the floor. And
so has UCLA. I mean, we're talking about a team that leads the Big Ten in both scoring offense and scoring defense, which is a really good combination. And she's a huge part of the reason why. And again, undefeated in Big Ten play, and so they have the Coach of the Year as well. And I think this is always interesting, Coach of the Year, because it often doesn't go to the coach whose team wins the conference. It often goes to the coach whose team overachieves the most or exceeds expectations the most, and that would probably be Dawn Plitzowite. So tell me what you think about this Coach of the Year race and the fact that it went to Corey Close.
Dawn Plitzowite, Jan Jensen, Ken Barnes-Rico, none of those players or coaches were picked to finish as high as they actually did. But I think this was the right choice in Corey Close. And it's not just the fact that they won and they won the regular season, Dave. It's how they did it. And I use the word dominant to describe Lauren Betts. I'll use the word dominant to describe UCLA. They only had 2 wins that weren't double-digit wins. That is incredible. They had 2 wins by single digits this season in the Big Ten play. And they got it done on the offensive end. They got it done on the defensive end. You take into consideration the arduous travel that they had to endure, long days, stretches on the road. They had a target on their back coming in. They were picked to finish first, and they did, and I think that that's always a challenge. So I'm going to have to say that media and the coaches, they got it right. Corey Close is our Big Ten Coach of the Year.
And I also think incorporating some new players and also putting players in different roles than they were in a year ago. I mean, all of that goes to, I know there are a lot of people who would love to be in that situation. I mean, she has an abundance of talent, and she readily said that when we talked to her when she was given the Coach of the Year award. But that's still, I mean, sometimes those are the most challenging coaching jobs. And then there's the fact fact that you're able to accumulate that talent as well, which is a huge part of it. Across town is where the Freshman of the Year resides in, Jazzy Davidson. Really a remarkable season. I think you consider kind of what she signed up for, which was to be alongside Juju Watkins, and then what she actually ended up doing, which was to be the centerpiece of the team. It speaks to how talented she is that she was able to pull that off as a freshman.
She was supposed to be a sidekick, right? She was supposed to
be the
sidekick to Juju Watkins, and she ends up being the focal point, and she handled that so admirably. And this is something that Lindsey Godley doesn't talk a lot about. I know this because I covered one of their games this year, and she mentioned this. But Jazzy Davidson missed an entire month in October of practice. She had an illness. So as a freshman, to miss an entire month of preseason practice and then just pick up in November like you never left, I think that says a lot about Jazzy Davidson's makeup and her maturity and just where she's at mentally. She's another player, a two-way player like Lauren Betts, who gets it done on both ends of the floor. She's really good defensive player and then an excellent offensive player. You don't have to run offense for her. She can create her own offense with her shooting, her ability to get to the rim. She's positionless. She can play the 1, the 2, the 3. I just can't say enough about her, and I think she's only going to be better next year when Juju's back in the equation.
And a great recruiting class as well. But to your point on the positionless nature and the fact that she does so many things well, she leads them in points, assists, rebounds, steals, and blocks. Only player in the nation. Only player in the nation who leads her team in all of those categories. I would say that is worthy of being Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Rick.
No argument here, Dave. Here's a look now at each of the first-team selections as chosen by both the Big Ten coaches and media. Several differences do exist from team to team, and those players whose names were capitalized, well, you don't really see them here because everybody was capitalized, but there were 4 players who were voted as unanimous selections by both respective voting bodies. They were Jelani Cambridge, Lauren Betts, Kiki Rice, and Jazzy Davidson. And the Big Ten Network's live coverage of the 2026 All-State Big Ten Women's Basketball Tournament from Indianapolis begins right here on Thursday. 4 games Thursday, 4 quarterfinals on Friday, and a pair of semifinals come your way on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app this week.